Out on the ragged edge of known space, a rusted freighter called the SS Grit navigates the dangerous blue-collar frontier. At the helm is Nox Vega, a reluctant captain guided by Vera, an angelic artificial intelligence trapped inside the ship's decaying systems. The narrative stretching across this galaxy is immense, spanning over 45 interwoven episodes of dense, continuous mythology. That mythology tracks the crew's struggle against a tyrannical overlord named Dark Varro. Every single chapter concludes with an original, lore-expanding song that hides warnings or blesses the journey. The high-end visual design, the deep world-building, and the sheer volume of content create the immediate impression of a heavily funded Hollywood production. But there is no studio, there is no writer's room, there are no animators. Every script, every rendering, every piece of character design, and every original song is the work of a single independent creator operating entirely off the grid. By building custom, AI-assisted workflows, this solo artist has replaced traditional executive oversight, engineering a one-person studio from the ground up. Long Haulers demonstrates how a single creator can now build a persistent, multi-hour narrative universe entirely outside the traditional system. The engine keeping this universe from collapsing under its own weight is a living document called the Sacred Show Bible. This Bible establishes hard canon rules. It locks down the logic of how the ship works and limits character abilities, ensuring plot consistency across dozens of hours of story without a dedicated continuity department. It also dictates the deep layer rule, the idea that the universe behaves like a spiritual purgatory, where physical space reacts to the crew's psychological intent. Because a single mind governs these mechanics, the complex spiritual themes remain sharp. They are never diluted by focus groups or risk-averse executives trying to broaden the demographic. To maintain a prolific output, the creator relies on a strict narrative formula known as the repeatable machine. Every episode begins with a cold open to establish immediate danger, followed instantly by an inciting job, a mandatory delivery or reroute. The middle act escalates through a galley talk, where the crew debates the ethics of their mission. This leads to a moral test and a Western-style action beat. Finally, an outro song closes the narrative loop, acting as a musical delivery system for deeper universe lore. Confining the plot to this rigid skeleton actually liberates the creator to experiment. It leaves room for uncompromised details, like Moke, a small, furry creature acting as a silent spiritual guide on the ship. Trusting this structural machine allows one person to rapidly produce hours of content while maintaining dense narrative quality. The resulting property maintains a professional polish, presenting a fully realized IP ready for a mass audience. The standalone title graphics feel like they were pulled directly from the marquee of a major streaming platform. The marketing is anchored by meticulous branding, utilizing high-end, three-dimensional logos to establish an immediate sense of scale. When an individual can produce assets of this caliber, it proves that the technical and financial barriers to entry for world-building have drastically shifted. The requirement for a gatekeeper's permission or a massive budget to build a persistent galaxy is no longer an absolute. Inside the story, Nox Vega operates off the grid to resist the systemic control of Dark Varro. Outside the story, the creator of Long Haulers has bypassed the traditional Hollywood empire to deliver an intricate sci-fi epic on their own terms. Long Haulers functions as a case study for original, complex IPs built and owned entirely by a solo visionary.